May 7th, 2023. A regular day. Fresh, new, and amazing. War on the DEF had halted because of their retreat from a game known as Hyper, an area that's considered S.R.S. territory in the realm of clans and empires. But little did anyone know that an invasion was yet again inevitable. From one single message to change the course of history yet again, by the will of a single man. To understand what happened, we must look back to two pieces of media, that being Discord and YouTube. One of the S.R.S. allies, who goes by the name Senator, had taken screenshots of what appeared to be the IFU, but mainly the leaders page, writing and defending DAF against the S.R.S. With these claims Idolus made, which was the IFU leader, had backed off once the leader of S.R.S. Unseasoned had told Idolus to leave the argument. However, after that comment, investigations were held on what the IFU and Ghost were triangulating together, and it turned out that they supported DAF and vice versa. With this simple implication, Unseasoned said that he would go to Chicken Gun to expand his great empire, which is where Idolus made the simple mistake of saying, "You're not welcome in CG." Due to Idolus's incompetent behavior and the backed claims that funded S.R.S. with every reason to attack, history was rewritten and the invasion of Chicken Gun began. We will dissect only the S.R.S. victories, and how it shaped its pathway to a decisive victory on the front lines, starting with the Plains map, which was pure irony for IFU as they won on this map last battle. The reason why this first battle was so important was because of the shockingly different weaponry the S.R.S. had. Unlike the old Haggerstorm, this operation had more resources which decimated IFU to its core. This battle had a span of 4 hours of fighting, and was both a close-quarter combat and long-ranged combat skirmish. The battle was rocky at the beginning, but the soldiers deployed by S.R.S. got it under control in just a matter of minutes. Hours passed, and the IFU leader was shown retreating, his excuse somehow being his Wi-Fi, but no one bought it. This determination during the combat led to the first victory of the second Haggerstorm. IFU and its allies were backed to a corner, and the only option in that corner was to fight. They couldn't run to Simple Sandbox 2, because if the IFU were to tread past their home game back to Simple Sandbox 2, they would be met with hostility by the S.R.S. Meanwhile, on the S.R.S. front lines, a week passed, and the Saturday after that was yet again another battle, this time being back on Cholo. This war, in a way, was the day IFU lost its morale, getting beaten multiple times. Back on Discord, Idolus, the IFU leader, wasn't processing his defeat clearly, and had kept his facade together, saying in a way that he'd win future battles. Skipping a few battles over to another decimating war that shook IFU and DAF mercenaries was in the military base map. A week before this battle happened, Unseasoned was sick, and on the same map, S.R.S. took a loss. With that same loss, Idolus grew cocky and promised another quote-unquote victory for his clan. But it was far from what he had expected. The S.R.S. threw teleporters into the skies and dropped down near their location and caused them to be scrambled all over themselves. It was then that Idolus ordered his second retreat in the war. This has gotten bad for the IFU army. Some had double-crossed Idolus in his alliance pact. The cracks were showing, and it wouldn't be long until another battle or two would shatter them. On the 10th of June, 2023, is when the battles began. There was no going back for Idolus. This was his final stand. Later that day, IFU was told to fight the S.R.S. in Cholo again. Yes, the same map they lost in and wanted to fight in it again because the spawns were apparently unfair. Well, the S.R.S. surely proved them wrong by beating them yet again. S.R.S. pushed the IFU back to a meat grinder map which will be called the Desert Plains. The reason why it's called the meat grinder is due to the fact of the spawn being right next to the enemy spawn. Once everyone was in the battle, it was purely just chaotic. Flying enemies everywhere, snipers in the sky, some on the ground killing each other. One of the S.R.S. members got on the cliff and mowed down waves of IFU, and only after a decent hour of fighting, they gave in and retreated, leaving the war zone, and the only thing left behind was the mercenary for Idyllis. He was kicked because he was no trouble at all, and this historical photo was taken.